Beautiful. Bryson and Kamen, how are we?
All
Pleasure meeting
right.
both.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead and
doing
start.
great. Oh,
Hey,
go
nice
ahead.
to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well. Nice to meet you. And I know you guys have done lots of interviews already, so I really appreciate you taking the time to chat today about the film. I'm self-admittedly a very casual anime fan. Like I have the ones that I enjoy. So when this one came across, I was very intrigued because I actually hadn't heard of Blue Lock before. And you've made a fan out of me. This movie was kick-ass, guys. Like this was
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
This was
Yes.
a lot of fun. I'm excited to go and visit the show, which kind of was where I want to begin as well, because you obviously have both played the characters of Reo and Nagi in multiple episodes as well and expanded things out about these characters. I'm curious to know what a key takeaway from your time on the show with these characters did to help inform decisions you made about them for the film. That's a question for both of you.
Of course. So I actually felt like it was the perfect opportunity to kind of reestablish and reintroduce these characters to a new audience, such as yourself, and even to old fans of the show, like be able to retread some of the familiar territory from a completely different recontextualization. And one of the things that I loved about being able to do that is when you're working in anime, a lot of this stuff is very fast paced. We tend to get into the studio and it's just, all right, hey Bryson, you're playing this character, go. And usually we get about a day ahead of time before that because the production schedules are really fast on anime in particular. So one of the things that can result from that is you'll get your first initial impression of a character and you'll set the character in a certain way, and then maybe as the show continues on you kind of evolve and be like, well, maybe he's more of a, like in this direction, or find other aspects and quirks about their personality that you can incorporate as you continue forward. But stuff that, like, you maybe at the back of your mind, like every creative is their own worst critic, but being like, oh man, I wish I could have done this for like those earlier scenes. And I feel like this movie gave me an uncommon opportunity to be able to take what I learned from those later episodes of the show and add those nuances to the performance whenever trying to retread these earlier moments in the film.
Yeah. Adding to that, yeah, and also getting a chance to kind of protect the character now that we have more information about them. What's their humor like? Oh, would they say that? Oh, when they get angry, they do this little thing. Oh, can we bring back this one line if that fits? Just with our amazing director Jonathan Rigg, allowing us to collaborate with him on a couple parts as well. It was a blast. And also even like in the show, Reo can kind of come off a little more like maybe due to the little bit of time that maybe he's riding Nagi's coattails. And then in the film, we see he's the one dragging Nagi along, like, come on, let's go. Let's go be great.
That's incredible. And that kind of leads into my next question, because I'm very intrigued about this, because obviously as fans of anime know that there are the Japanese voice actors who do the Japanese version. Then we have you guys who come in and do an incredible job on the English dubs as well. I'm curious to know that when you are forming the characters and you're working with your director on that collaboration, is there ever an aspect of those characters or the original voice acting that you kind of go helps inform what the decisions you make about the voice, or do you feel like you have free reign to make these characters really your own?
Yeah. So there's a little bit of everything in that bag. So like for me for example, I try my best to match the energy of those original performances and the animation and the music and the effects. Like I try to make sure that whatever I'm doing is fitting what's presented in the original material, so that like it's keeping as true to the original vision as possible. Physics being what they are, though, like my vocal cords are not the same as the Japanese seiyu's vocal cords. So no matter how hard I try or how hard other people try, like it's not likely that I'm going to be able to sound one to one exactly vocally like the original performer. So what I try to do is just try to find that energy and where that energy lives in my own voice technically. And then one of the things about Nagi in particular that was so difficult to pin down and really harness is that sort of cold aloofness that he has, where he's just kind of detached from everything, and he's as Jonathan Rigg, the ADR director, likes to coin term it. I can't think of words right now. I've been out all day. As Jonathan Rigg likes to put it, he's almost like a ghost wandering around, like curious about the humans around him and being kind of like, what is everyone doing? Why is everyone trying so hard, with like a genuine curiosity, as opposed to like, why is everyone trying so hard? It sucks. And like, there are definitely points in which Nagi has that sort of like petulant child, like, I don't want to do this. I just want to go home and just rest. but it's trying to find that balance between being too whiny, but then also just like go back to that kind of cold aloofness that he has. That's not quite so like complaining, but just more like curious, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
Kamen, for yourself?
like Bryson said, it's kind of a mixed bag where, of course, listening to the original performance and the kind of hearing, I'm more so listening to the range as well. I'm like, whoa, the original actor for Reo is a little bit higher. And so I was a little nervous because my speaking voice is a little bit deeper. But luckily, I trusted Jonathan, and we found our kind of own version of it, and he let me fly. He's like, hey man, let's do. I picked you for a reason. Let's go, do your thing. And also the animators, just the facial expressions, they tell so much. And so anytime Reo's feeling himself or really cocky and confident, it just lends to that, like, get real cool, or like he's talking shit to different characters. So much fun.
I love it. I love it. I'm curious to know as well, because you both kind of mentioned in your answers that the animation, obviously the sound design, play an absolutely huge part in anime. It's very much about the visuals as much as it is about the voice acting as well. Are you in a unique position where I know in some animated projects you don't get to see the visuals, you don't get to see what this film's going to look like, and you kind of have to base your performance on that? Are you in a unique position where you get to, and having done the show as well, know what this world looks like and know what this sounds like and have that sort of come across in your performances as well? And what is that reaction when you then see it all put together?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I love about working on anime in particular is that the animation is done and we are working with the script side by side with the finished animation.
It's
So
awesome.
we can and what I love about it versus like being on stage where you never really get to see the full thing. You're always seeing the show from your perspective, or on camera where you have to wait forever for the finished thing to come out. Likewise with like prelay animation. We do the take and we can watch it back, and if that's the take, like it may as well, like we're watching the finished performance right there, and we can see it and how it feels in the moments, like in the scene. If other characters and other actors have recorded before me, I can hear how they play off of each other, and sometimes that might even make me want to be like, well, I'm going to take that again because the other actor said it this way. I might try this a different way so that it doesn't sound quite as, so that it flows better, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And this project, man, it's so beautiful. Like the visuals are beautiful, the music is beautiful, and it gets you right in the zone. Where like maybe some other pieces, it feels like maybe the acting is carrying the animation. Then you bump into something like this, where it's like, I better bring my A game because everything else is at a 10, man. We got to bring it.
I love it. And that you're 100% right, especially with something like this. I mean, out of the anime that I have seen, this just seems to take that intensity to another level, because I'm a big sports fan too. So seeing this visualization of sports that I love, it is incredible. I'd love to ask a question sort of about your careers and in relation to the film, because Nagi is a character who, until he is forced to join Blue Lock, doesn't really find his talents or his passions. It's something that he was sort of forced to do, and then there's a turning point for him. I'm curious to know for both of you, what was that moment in your careers? What was that turning point, or what was that project you did where you go, this is what I'm good at, this is what I love doing, and this is what I'm going to pursue so wholeheartedly?
Um, I I decided I wanted to be an actor when I was 14. And to me, that meant voice acting, that meant stage acting, that meant whatever kind of acting I could do. And voice acting was definitely one of the things that I was the most interested in doing, just because I loved cartoons, I loved video games, I loved anime. And just having the chance to make that happen, honestly, like, it's been a dream come true, honestly. And there were definitely times, and I can feel it in the messaging of this show, where it's like I think I did it as an amateur for like 6 years, from 14 to 20 years old, where it was entirely amateur, and I just felt like I was hitting a brick wall trying to make that next step into being a professional. And there were times that I wanted to give up and just rely on the whatever day job I can find and stuff. And so I really resonate with a lot of the stories about this kind of stuff, where it's just identifying that thing that you really want and really going for it, because I feel like I did that in my life, and I feel like as long as you keep at it, and you don't let anything just hold you back, find the things about yourself that you need to improve to make that happen, and just go for it, and it's the most rewarding thing in the world. So that's what I love about stories like this.
Yeah, love that, man. I'd say the first one would be because I didn't know what I wanted to do this stuff, but there's no one in my family. There was no one before me that even attempted this kind of thing. We're out here in Texas, which seems so far away from Hollywood, which we're in California, which we're told is where all the amazing things happen when we don't have all the knowledge yet. And then I took a theater class in community college and bumped into a teacher by the name of Alice Butler. And she was like Yoda, right? She saw me, I performed a monologue for her, and she's like, you need to be doing this. And I just started crying. I'm like, show me the way. Like, what do I need to do? And so because of them, I was able to take all my basics and then transfer to a major university. And from there, learn true and just kind of get away from everything, get away from the party and get away from the nightlife and all these other things, and really just hone in and focus in a basement for 3 years at Southern Methodist University out in Dallas, Texas. And that really beat the craft into me. And I felt equipped to do this stuff.
That's awesome, and I love that because I think it comes through, especially with voice acting, which is an art form where you don't get to show expression and use your body in a physical way on screen to convey it. I think you both are incredible, to be totally honest, to convey those emotions. So I kind of want to start wrapping up about what it's like in that booth for you. Where do you have to go with the body movements, with the physicality, with that tone of voice to try and get as much emotion across as you do without actually seeing you guys on screen?
Yeah, I think it really helps to do the physicality, even if you're in the booth and nobody's seeing it, they can hear it. So like if your character's running around, and for Nagi, he's a bit of an outlier where they still want to keep that kind of cool, even energy and controlled, but you still want to hear a little bit of that breath because he's like, he's still in the zone, he's still in there. So a lot of that, doing the physicality in a way that obviously doesn't make too much noise so that it like picks up on the mic and stuff, and making sure you stay on mic, it really helps to just get the feel for the lines and get the feel for the performance as well.
Yeah. I hope they take more video of us, because some of I look crazy in there. Like if I'm playing a monster, I might be making all types of movements and things. Or if like in a moment like Reo's like cocky, I might be standing like kind of like this, giving a line, just because it lends to the energy of the moment. Or if it's intense and emotional moment, I might completely just drop everything and just let everything fall and just kind of live in that weight.
I love that. I love that. Well, like I said, guys, you made a fan out of me. Discovering this film, getting the opportunity to talk to you and watch this film has made a fan out of me for Blue Lock, and I'm excited to go. I've started the show, so I'm excited to. You guys haven't popped up just yet. I'm excited to get to where we are, and I know season 2 is in the works, or it's on the way as well. So I'm excited to see where this show goes. But guys, I genuinely thank you for taking the time to chat today. This has been an exciting opportunity for me to talk to you both about something that I don't get to talk about a lot. So it's awesome, and you guys are really great in the movie. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for your great questions. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, brother.
Appreciate you guys.